Hi guys, this is Scapegoat Stephen back with another video. Today we're looking at the Hordes High Command expansion, Castle of the Keys. Much like the Invasion of Saul, we've got this nice box that it comes in. Some lovely artwork on the sides. Take the lid off, the same sort of composition as the other one. You can flip this over, store an absolute ton of cards inside it, should you need or want to. And frankly, it's much easier than carrying the whole base game box around with you. So we have Legion and Scorn, Circle, Trolls, oh, that's not a bit too far, Trolls, and we have Locations and the Winds of War deck. So we'll start by going through Legion, because it's down here. So a quick look through. We start with Rias, the Sigil of Everblight. She is 3 power, the old battle group commander skill, and something called Tide of Blood. If more than one opponent has cards at Rias' location, double her power. So quite reasonable in multiplayer games. She's red and blue. We've got the Harrier, which is cycles for 0 command, 1 war, rushes for 4 war, purchases for 2 war, blood creation. You can deploy this card from your discard pile. It's only a 1/2, but if you ever need to rush something somewhere very quick. And in this we've got 5 of them, and they are spread across purple, yellow and green. Ignore that blue there, that's the next set of cards we're going to look at, which are the Longbow Archer Champions. They cycle for 2 command and 0 war. They're a 3/2, they're worth a VP, they purchase for 4 command and rush for 7, and they have superior range, so I keep them alive for a little bit longer. Again, being worth a VP, quite nice. And you have 5 of them, and they're split across blue, yellow and green. Then we're into the Dragon Spawn Shepherds, which cycle for 1 command, 2 or 2 war. They are a 1/3. They purchase for 3 or rush for 4, and then they've got this lovely Beastmaster ability. So when you deploy or rush war beast to this location, you can use command war or a combination of the two. So that basically makes everything blight gifted, which is quite tasty. And there are 5 of them, and they are split across red, orange and purple. So we'll go into Scorn next. We have a Dominar Rasheth. He's a 2 and 0. He rushes for 2 war, and he has Plague Wind. Enemy cards at Rasheth's location suffer -1 health. Interesting, useful. Will it swing a battle? Possibly. We've got the Basilisk Creo, which cycles for 1 and 1. It's a 1/3. It's worth a VP. It purchases for 3 or rushes for 5, so quite cheap. And Paralytic Aura makes enemy cards at this location lose superior range, which is quite nice. And you've got 2 green, 2 purple and a yellow. We're then into Praetorian Carax. They cycle for 2 and 0. They are a 1/4, which is quite nice. They're rush for 6, purchase for 3. Again, quite cheap. And friendly cards without ranked attacks to this location cannot be destroyed. So again, it's a little bit like superior range, little bit like Object of Desire, and there are 5 of them split across orange and red. We're into the Venator Flayer Battery, which is 1 command and 2 war. They are a 2/4. They rush for 7 and purchase for 4. They're worth a VP. And they gain +1 power if there are any enemy Warjack or Warbeast cards at this location, so they become a 3/4. And there are 5 of them split across blue and yellow. So we'll go into Trolls now. And we have Calandra, possibly one of the better warlocks in the game, I would possibly argue. She's 2 power, she runs green and purple. She has Good Omens. After you attack at Truthsayer's location, draw 2 cards, rushes for 2 war. Very nice, allows you to pull cards as quickly as possible as you want, which is quite nice. We've got the Troll Impaler, 0 command, 2 war. He's a 2/4, which is quite nice. He's worth a VP, rushes for 5 war or purchases for 4. Critical Smite. At the start of your attack, if you have a Warlock at this location, choose an opponent who has cards here. That player discards a card. Very nice overall, and there are 5 of them. You've got a yellow, 3 greens and an orange. Very nice beast. Then you've got more Creel War Banners, which are 1 command 0 war. They are a 0/3, purchase 2, rush 4. It's quite cheap. And they have Overcome. So when you rush a card to a location containing 1 or more friendly cards with Overcome, reduce the rush cost by 2 command or 2 war to a minimum of the purchase cost. So very nice for getting your troops out cheap. And we've got 1 orange, 2 red and 2 yellow on that. We're into the Rune Bearer Elders. They cycle for 2 command. They are a 1/4. They purchase for 4, rush for 7. They have Power Glyphs. If you control 1 or more cards with Power Glyphs, once per turn you may bank cards. When you bank cards, you can add the top card of your army deck to your banked cards. Quite nice, allows some very quick cycling through the deck, and they're in purple and blue. So we're into Circle finally, and we have Grail the Fast Rider. He has 3 power. He rushes for 2 command, and he has Darkest Night. After your battle step this turn, you can move friendly cards from this location to other locations however you choose. Quite nice, can allow you to do like a cascading swing on your battles. You've got the Warpwolf Stalker, cycles for 0 and 2. It is a 3/5. It's worth a VP. Purchase for 4, rush for 6, which is quite cheap. And it has Sprint. If there is an attack at this location this turn, return this card to your hand at the end of turn. Interesting. There are 5 of them across purple, blue and green. We have the Reeve Master Huntsman for 2 command 0 war. He can cycle. He is a 3/3. He's worth a VP. Purchases for 4, rushes for 6. At the start of an attack, other friendly Reeves cards at this location gain +1 power and +1 power and +1 health to the end of turn. So you can stack multiple of him in the same location. That's quite nice. With 5 of him, we've got 1 green, 2 orange, 2 yellow. Speaking of Reeves, they cycle for 1 and 1. They are a 1 and 2. They purchase for 2 or rush for 3, and they have Camouflage. During your battle step, you can choose to skip your attack at this location. Quite nice, and there are 5 of them split across green, orange and yellow. Right, we're going to have a look at the locations of Winds of War now. Apologies, the camera cut out due to lack of battery. So we'll start by looking at the location decks. Again, we have the new rule, as we did in Invasion of Sol, which states essentially if there is a duel, if there's the same location twice and there's no cards trying to capture it, you can swap it at the start of your turn. Quite useful given there are duplicate locations in this deck. So there are, let's throw that around, there are 3 Cliffside Vantage Points. They cycle for 3 and 2. Some nice artwork there. They're worth 5 victory points, and when you rush or deploy a card to this location, you can refresh 1 card in your reserves. Quite nice. There are 3 Crumbling Parapets, cycle for a 3/3, are worth 7 victory points, and at the end of each turn return any cards here with more than 4 base health to their owner's hands. Interesting one. There are 3 Perilous Ruins, which cycle for 2/2 and are worth 8 victory points. At the end of your turn, if you have fewer than 2 cards at this location, your cards at this location are destroyed. We have Blighted Passage, which cycles for a 2/3, which is worth 6 VPs, and at the start of your battle step, if you have cards at this location, choose 1 card here. That card loses its abilities until the end of turn. Then we have some unique locations. We have the Escape Tunnel, which cycles for 1/1. It's worth 7 VPs. If you control more cards at this location than any other player, when one of your cards at any other location is destroyed or discarded, you can move it to your hand instead of your discard pile. Very nice. Doesn't cycle for much though. Cavern of Inscriptions, which cycles for 2 or 2, is worth 6 victory points, and when you rush a card to this location, the rush cost is decreased by 2 command or 2 war to a minimum of the card's purchase cost. Nice. Very nice. And then Pyromalfic himself, he's worth 0/0. He, however, is worth 13 victory points, and at the start of your turn, destroy 1 friendly card here. When Day of Reckoning is revealed, destroy all cards here before resolving. So he's not worth a lot as far as cycling goes. He cuts your cards down, however he is worth 13 VPs, so it's whether or not you'd be better off going for multiple other locations, or if you'll be going straight for the dragon for those 13 VPs. So we have early war cards. We have 2 Amassing for Wars, which are the cost of the first card you purchase or deploy is reduced by 2. There's 2 of those. We have a Cautious Advance. Each time you purchase a card this round, you can bank a card. Interesting. There's 2 of them, sorry. We have a Calculated Sacrifice. If you shuffle your deck this round, you can move 1 additional card to your Occupying Forces pile. Very nice, providing it comes up. We then have another Calculated Sacrifice in mid-war. We have an Isolated Forces, which is if one of your cards is the only friendly card here, it suffers -2 power. We have 2 Decisive Assaults. You can rush cards with a purchase cost of up to 3 command or 3 war for their purchase cost this round. Oh, it's lovely. We've got a redirection, which is your standard no rushing. Another redirection in late. We've got in fact 2 at any costs, which are you can draw up to 4 cards at the start of your turn this round. If you do, skip your next turn. So risky. We've got another Isolated Forces in late war, and then we've got the Day of Reckoning, which is the 2 or more cards, 2 more cards than your opponent at this location. Immediately capture it, destroy all cards, the game ends. That's what your standard ending from the original base sets. I think it's a very interesting expansion. I am almost certainly going to be running this Winds of War deck, I think, possibly with the location deck from Invasion of Sol for my 4-star deck, because both of them basically help me quite a lot. I'm going to have to give it some play testing, see what works out best, but I reckon those 2 in a combination are quite nice. Overall, quality of this product very good. Finish, obviously, as always, with a lot of PPs. Artwork is brilliant. Again, it's used to have that box. It's not that much more expensive than purchasing a single expansion pack. I think this cost me about £13–14. Standard expansion pack is about £9.95 depending on where you go. That's from my local game store. So yeah, all in all, very nice. Especially like the Troll and the Legion releases in this box. The Circle, I don't think are particularly game changing, but they're nice and they're interesting. Scorn, again, there's some nice ones in there, like the Basilisk Kriya, but I'm not sure how much of the other stuff is going to see a lot of play. But again, as we're a reasonably new meta in my area, I don't think we even have a Scorn player. In fact, we have several players who haven't really even set on a faction yet, so we'll just have to see how that develops. I'm hopefully looking into running a Kingmaker in the next couple of months, although that may get slowed down by the fact I'm moving house, so that may also reduce my video content I'm able to put out. But at the moment, there you go, there's Hordes High Command, Castle of the Keys campaign expansion. It's very good. So that was another video by me, Scapegoat Stephen. See you around.